We have the U.S. debt going absolutely parabolic with a $275 billion addition in one day. Ripple stacking up a massive win, just win over win, keeps beating down the SEC, and Russia scams the entire world into thinking they're getting nuked. All this and more on the Blockchain Basement.
Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this? I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're gonna get back below there. But if we do, that's kind of where we.
Everywhere you look. Hello. That's right. Good afternoon, everyone.
Blockchain Choir, baby.
That's right, baby. We're getting after it. We're sending it. It's been awesome having you here in the studio, Rodney.
Thanks for having me.
I watched your video last night. God, it was just amazing hearing someone say the things that obviously I'm in the situation I am in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have to hold until I can see the white in their eyes, right? And then you let it go. But it was nice seeing you talk about your experience here at Hit Network. Yes, we do work very hard. Yes, it's a gigantic building with lots of researchers, lots of writers, and it's hard for people to imagine. But basically everything out of this Hit factory that comes out, we're behind the research of, we're behind the writing of. We are the bread and butter of all the information that's been swimming across the internet for crypto news, the breaking hot stuff. You're in the center of the beast right now. So thank you for joining us, man. We got Hannah up here hanging out with me. She's gonna be. Are you gonna watch chat today in case I miss anything good?
I'm always on chat. I'm always watching.
She's always watching. Kelly?
Always watching. Also, shout out Tony. Shout out Frankie Candles. Shout out Candle Mafia. Tony got me oatmeal this morning. Made my day. I'm very happy.
Kodiak is a great brand.
It is.
Highly recommend the pancakes.
Good protein. Good teen.
That's right. Kelly, how you doing?
You know what? I'm doing good.
Yeah?
I woke up in cold sweats last night. I thought I peed the bed, and then I realized, oh no, I didn't. That's I was sweating through the sheets and wasn't feeling that great yesterday. But I think I cooked it out of my system.
There's
Feeling
something
good
going
today.
around.
We got a lot. We got a lot of changes we're doing here. Good changes. A lot of upgrades to some content that we're doing on BitLab, as well as the times things are going out, and those times have changed, so we have more time at different parts of the day to really build out a lot of new content, and we're really excited to bring that to everybody.
Yeah, I'm glad we moved to 2 for this show because that allows me to really kind of get 1 to 2 p.m. is my peak performance. Before we were kind of just going straight from one to the next show. Obviously we'd have the news and we know what we're talking about, but it's nice to have that extra time. Really dig in, make sure that we're bringing the most factual and up-to-date information as possible. Thank you for joining us, everyone. C90FTW in the chat, just an absolute OG. First in the chat, meanless, asking for his uwoos. Might get him, who knows. Shake and Bake, Gata Life, Deucey Does Crypto as well, and Nicole Minas, the real ones, Crimson Caravan Company. Thank you for joining us, you guys. There's not a lot that's gone on in the markets. We're going to highlight, it's just, the biggest thing overnight was Ripple, but this is from Crypto Rover. I want to just talk about kind of where my mind's at in this. I kind of find confluence in this sentiment. If Bitcoin breaks above that 28.2 level, he's looking for 32,000 to come in very quickly, basically just breaching this. Kelly, I know you've been talking about this quite a bit. Now, where do you feel we are headed today? Are we still kind of teetering on that potential to find that big leg down, back down to 25, maybe even 23 in Bitcoin?
Well, I mean, every day this week, there's been a different Fed member speaking. And what really shows you that the bulls don't truly have conviction yet is the fact that this uncertainty, as Rodney also pointed out in our conversation earlier, the context of the global markets and where things are going is so shaky right now. There's correlation strongly with traditional markets sometimes and sometimes not with Bitcoin. But the fact of the matter is, broadly, there's fear in global markets at the moment. And so being that even with XRP, great news yesterday, but it pushed up and basically kind of sold back off and it was just sitting at a level of resistance. that gives you a good idea right now about the sentiment of the bulls. People want it to go up. We saw, we talked about it on the Discover Crypto show earlier. A lot of whale transactions being shown with inflows onto exchanges and some sort of interesting behavior on chain with large wallets before that $28,000 breaking $28,000. So the fact that we were not able to hold above it, I still am of the opinion that it's more likely that we're still going to get that test down 24,000, maybe 23.5. So as it is today, I think this week is going to be a little bit of a non-event in terms of price continuing up. I think we're going to be kind of hovering where we're at, and then the bullish sentiment's going to kind of fade, and then the bottom's going to fall out.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair assessment, and you can take value out of that because then you can be prepared in case it does.
But if it goes up,
down.
Doesn't mean if you make an analysis thesis that it's going to go down, doesn't mean you don't look at upside potential and what's going to happen. That chart that Rover just had up, it's a great chart. It shows that the price pushed up pull up that chart again.
Yeah.
The price pulled up directly to where, look at that wick, goes directly to where the previous lows were. If you're ever trying to figure out where price is going to go to, where there may be a hiccup in that momentum continuing, you always look to a previous low or a previous high, especially if you draw the line further across the chart. You get indications of when those strong levels are. So if we do break that 28.5, then there is a high possibility that we are going to push up into the 31 kind of area. I'm still not of the opinion that we have the juice right now to start making, runs up to 40K. I kind of am getting more and more away from this idea pre-halving that we're going to get that 38 to 42K pump. Like a lot of people were thinking, 3-4 months ago. The time is getting closer and closer to the halving, but also there's no new bullish sentiment coming into markets. In fact, it's looking more and more like a recession's coming. Then I guess the question there is, at what point? Is it now, or is it in 2 years? Is it in 5 years? When is Bitcoin going to actually be a hedge against that? It's not quite there yet, especially considering we have all this smart money institutions on the sideline. They're not going to trade this differently than they trade every asset they've ever traded in the history of the world. They're going to trade it like a risk asset. So we still have to draw that correlation as something that is important when we are seeing lack of capital flow into the markets.
100%. And we still have time. The good news out of all this is you still have time to build your bags and get ready for what's coming. So that's how you leverage that information for your own power.
Thank you, Candle Daddy. He says, Rodney, Hannah, Kells, Druth, all my favorite diamonds and dynamite sticks and bombs and parrots and smiley faces and
Candle Daddy.
I think like a lot of people should be grateful for this opportunity. I know it seems weird and it's been rough the last year or so in crypto. But it's giving people a lot of time to, dollar cost average. The average Joes who get a 2-week paycheck, they have time to just slowly buy into their favorite projects
100%.
At a discount. And, I don't think of this SEC thing as like, XRP is going to send. It's more of a, hey, we have the last huge regulatory hurdle, you could say, that a lot of cryptocurrency products are going to face in the future with the SEC. So it's like, they defeated the SEC. The appeal was denied. And this is another case that, maybe Coinbase or Binance can refer to in their efforts to try to defeat the SEC. So it just opens up the floodgates in the future, but you can't deny the fact that right now people just don't have money to buy crypto.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you live downstream of a dam, if you live downstream of a dam, and you start seeing some investigative reporter talking about cracks in the dam, do you think that makes the value of the house go up or down? And the point of this, it's like analysis of fundamentals, same thing. And it's kind of an inverse of that with crypto because we are downstream of a dam, but it's not going to be damaging to Bitcoin when spot ETFs and institutions and smart money come in. In fact, it's going to be damaging to the traditional system, which is my argument for why they've suppressed us for so long. They're trying to figure out how to get their claws into it as well, because this is, once the dam breaks, you don't start repairing a dam once the water's already flowing through the cracks. Once this goes, it's going to happen quickly. And so, as Rodney said so brilliantly, be patient and be grateful for this opportunity right now. Any price action to the downside, or even just not to the upside, is a blessing, because the longer it takes, the more you have an opportunity to take advantage of it.
100%. And the XRP news, as you said, really didn't do so. What you got?
DCA is the way.
DCA is
Shout
the
out
way.
Robert Young.
That's true. That's true. It's simple. Keep it simple, stupid. If you don't want to follow charts every day, DCAing consistently is statistically more profitable than moving in at, at certain times. If you go in all ham, you have to get real lucky on going ham on those buys. Overall, DCAing throughout the years is statistically a more sound way to have upward action. So, and we had the XRP news. Really didn't do much, as you said. The real news that I was excited for is Singapore. So they're now fully licensed to provide the digital payment token services in Singapore. The reason why I feel like this is absolutely huge is because Singapore, along with a couple other, I know it's Singapore, Hong Kong is pretty open to it, and a couple other locations that are kind of financial hubs are opening up their allowance for institutions to get exposure to crypto at the lows. Incidentally, they blocked it off at the highs, and now they're opening it up at the lows. But basically, just this is highlighting Ripple received that in principle approval earlier this year, and now it's official. They are licensed. The license underscores the real world utility of crypto solutions for businesses and financial institutions alike. Obviously, this is Singapore. It's not the United States, but there's a lot of money moving around in that demographic. So it's nothing to sleep on. We all look at these price charts for XRP and we see this break in the United States SEC versus it. And we're like, why isn't it going to $20? Yeah, they told me an ounce of gold is equal to 1 XRP. Why aren't they rich already? You have to have patience. These institutions are literally just laying out the plumbing and the groundwork to build that dam down the river because they see things are cracking. That's what they have to do. Anyone watching from the toilet?
Me.
+1 in the chat. If you're on-
Hey, we have one major issue right now.
What's that?
Got about a little over 100 people in the room, and only 40 of you guys have hit the like button.
we gotta
pay your
those
toll,
numbers.
pay your tax, show some love, hit that like button. Let's get this going.
Yeah.
That's right, baby.
Bullish.
There's a reason why I think that, what Kelly said is very, very true about the dam breaking, right? I did a short on this because it's pretty incredible, but the total U.S. debt has risen by $275 billion overnight, right? Overnight, $275 billion, bringing us to a record 33.4 trillion. And exactly 2 weeks ago, I highlighted this when Yellen talked about, hey, there's nothing to worry about. We're at 33 trillion, but it should chill out soon, right? So that was 2 weeks ago. The total U.S. debt hit 33 trillion. And now this means that the U.S. has added $32 billion in debt per day for at last the last 2 weeks. But this $275 billion move came right as that scuffle happened in the House of Representatives.
You know what grinds my gears?
What's that?
You know what grinds my gears is the fact that we have a government that is this backwards on their ability to manage their budget and the way they're spending. And meanwhile, they have the audacity. We have nationally, you could have somebody, for instance, Rand from Crypto Banter mention this. He had sold $100+ million company, moved to the US, and he could not rent anywhere because he didn't have a credit score. And then meanwhile, you also have people that are working, or they have maybe they have medical bills, but we have a credit score trying to limit people's ability to navigate this world. Meanwhile, how come we don't have a credit score for the U.S. government, which is completely you know what I'm about to say.
Those guys are giving you a credit score.
DC and pray, yes. All right, let's talk about the national emergency test. Apparently, it's going to go on in 4 minutes from now, 3 minutes from now. It's
hey,
normal.
you know what
this is normal. Hold
with
on.
the new
It's
woke
normal.
agenda is
It's
it going to be
normal.
beep?
It's normal.
Beep.
This is the thing that aggravates
Is that a
me
thing?
about this is this makes
happening?
people like me that pay attention for real
Beep, guys.
SHTF look like idiots.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what about they're using it so they can alert all of us for the black swan once the election.
They're gonna alert
once
you
the
about the-
election's off. They know right now because of October 4th. They know that everybody got those damn alerts. They know they're working. Now the election's off. Black swan happened. Boom. Here's your alert. And we know you saw it, so you better.
They're not going to give you a heads up on the cataclysm. They're not going to give you a heads up on the cataclysm. Do you expect them
They're
to?
foreshadowing.
I'm just waiting for the Amber Alert.
So, all right. There it is.
there it is. How come I didn't get it?
There
Oh,
it
there it
is.
is.
Oh my God. Did the electricity shut off? Did you need to put your car in a Faraday cage? No.
Hello?
My
No, you
nightmare.
didn't.
Don't touch it.
This is my
Hello?
nightmare.
President Biden?
There it is.
Are you awake, sir?
Yeah, Biden's not going to answer.
There it is.
So
Hold on, let's read it. This is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. The purpose of this is to completely jack with you in your ability to understand what is true and what is fake. And if you should so happen to participate in this economy or this world, then you will be under our thumb. So just mark our words. We are going to screw you. I can't believe
super bullish.
Oh, weird.
That's weird wording.
It's working,
No
guys.
action.
It's working. Worked. Checks out.
Remember when they had the fake nuke or the accidental
Oh, in
nuclear
Hawaii?
alarm in Hawaii?
Can
Remember
you
that?
imagine?
People
Can
were
you-
getting into the sewers. They were like, "Oh my god, it's happening right now!"
Oops.
You had intercontinental ballistic testing
Yeah.
going on from North Korea and some incursions happening in Taiwan, which are still happening, by the way, in increasing numbers. This warning and all this crap that I've seen from Russia's doing a nuclear test a day before the national emergency system. You better be worried. This is just more, and I'm not worried because guess what? I got a go bag. I got 2 long rifles.
Let's go.
I got a lot of stuff on me. I am fine if I've done everything I can. That's why the power of being a prepper lets you operate from a position of strength in times of stress. So as everyone's sitting here stressed about the debt collapse and, oh my God, this, the grid might go down. I don't have a worry about that because I've already spent enough time dealing with that in the past and I can use my money for things that make me money, like crypto. So just keep that in mind. I think it kind of makes people like me look bad when I see the internet going crazy over standard tests. So, it's not normal that the U.S. added half the Bitcoin market cap overnight. That is a little
That's
unusual.
wild. Isn't that wild?
That
Shows you how
is.
small crypto is.
It should.
It's big to us, but like in the grand scheme of things, like everyone that's not on the internet probably is like, what is your magical internet
Absolutely.
money?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very small. And that just shows me how early we are, right? Like they can just add half of our entire market cap while everyone's infighting in the House of Representatives. That was absolutely incredible to watch. I'm sure I know I have a pile of news. This is actually, we're going right into it. So Ilhan Omar had some looks for Gates. Look at how she's looking at Gates. Does she have the hots for Gates, do you think?
Gates
Look at
is
her.
good looking.
She's
Good
looking at her
looking.
lips. This is unbelievable.
Look at her.
This is female
She
simping.
is. She's kind of damn.
Hannah, what say you? Does she have the
Chill.
hots for Gates?
Look at her.
She's just chewing on her cheeks or
Oh,
something.
look at that. Look at those
Look
lips.
at that. She's got the hots for him. Well, Gates went on a warpath last night. This is Tim Young highlighting why it
love
looked
Tim
like
Young.
Omar. It's getting all hot and bothered by Matt Gates. Like that take. But then, we just got this yesterday. McCarthy was removed as the Speaker of the House. His temporary replacement is a major Bitcoin advocate, McHenry. I would absolutely love for us to get a chance to interview McHenry sometime because he is working hard on the Hill for us. This is much bigger than you think. And this is just asking the question, will McHenry's time there be bullish for crypto? Probably doesn't have enough time there to really do anything monumental.
Do we know when they're voting to actually reinstall somebody?
I think it has to be within the month. Dude, what if Trump gets it? What if Trump becomes the House Speaker?
No way.
Because you don't
That'd be
have to be in the House to be voted in, right?
No,
Wow.
you don't. And he's willing to do the job. And he's got some votes of confidence.
He's got to be the
already.
president.
No.
No, he can be president again.
Oh yeah, really?
Oh, yeah.
For temporarily or what? Until he's the president again, or?
No, I mean, he can be the House and then run for presidency.
Oh wow, that'd be a short stint in the House.
It happens. McCarthy was actually the first one to be voted out in the country's history.
Yeah, I heard that.
And
yeah.
the weirdest thing about this was Nancy Pelosi was still hanging out in the office that's meant for the Speaker of the House.
Well, her stuff
Nancy
was-
Pelosi's just like in the corner, just like, hopefully they don't see me. And she's pouring some scotch and,
Gargoyle.
doing some dark internet trades on insider info. So that was really weird. Drew sounding like a Muppet. That's kind of odd to say.
Her stuff was
it's-
moved out.
This guy's name is AJ. That makes sense.
guys.
Yeah.
Kermit here.
Here's this. What is that? Dude, Kermit the Frog did a Dave Matthews Band cover. Crash into me.
That's great.
It was so good. That's Kermit. So I gave you a Muppet sound there.
Pepe
So
the
you
meme
can
coin.
be more factually correct with your thought process there. But this is from Jilly R Team XRP. Nancy Pelosi evicted from her private office in the Capitol by interim House Speaker. Absolutely fantastic stuff to see. I wonder,
Trading extraordinaire.
is Nancy ever going to have to pay any sort of piper for the immense amount of wealth that she's garnered by being in charge of setting financial institutions.
You're not in her
and
Discord? You're not in her
precedent for everything. What?
You're not in her trading Discord? She's like batting 1,000 on trades here. Is that not suspicious to anyone? Is that like not? What is it? Elizabeth Warren's net worth is like 90 million or 73 million.
It gets worse. It gets worse. Listen to this.
Nuts.
So if you take the top 50 congressmen's net value, $4.8 billion.
Whoa.
Okay. Right? Top 50 are worth $4.8 billion. The average salary, 180 to 190K per year, right about. They would have to work for 27,000 years to accomplish that amount of money. But instead, they just get it in the short amount of lifespan because they are controlling what can and cannot happen. And they know about it happening beforehand. So they buy it and then they dump it on you at home who's watching CNN. Oh my God, this thing's going to be great. I should get in on it. And meanwhile, they're dumping on you because... because why? Because
in reality, they should all get, I mean, this might sound a little weird. I don't know what the number is, but they should all get, somewhere between $300,000 and $600,000 a year. Like something higher than we would expect to say, but then also be completely prevented from doing any investing or trading or taking any lobbying dollars. Yeah. No company ever should be able to this is so stupid to me. No company should have any ability in any super PAC or any tract whatsoever to invest in any politician's campaign. It should only be small donations from individual people, and that's the only way you can fund your campaign. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's like we have such a broken system because of the dollars that influence absolutely everything that happens. And then you have things like the government shutdown. If it were to happen, you know who still gets paid? The jackasses that can't get their shit together and figure out what the budget's going to be. Why do active duty? So I'm retired military. I'm retired from the Air Force, medical retirement. I get paid for life. My pay doesn't stop because I'm a veteran disability retirement. But you know whose pay stops on a government shutdown? All active duty members.
Sure does.
You could have somebody sitting in a foxhole somewhere and all of a sudden not getting paid because the congressmen and House of Representatives, people couldn't come to an agreement on how to balance a budget. It's complete you know what I'm saying?
I love getting you fired up. That's what needs to happen. And we can keep going. We can keep deeper on this because it is my opinion that a government cannot earnestly govern its people if it's beholden to a central bank, which is a situation we've had since 1913. So it's had a long time to progress into just a neocon capitalistic, socialistic hodgepodge mess instead of the constitutional republic which this country should have remained.
Here's the deal. House of Representatives and congressmen and anybody running in political office ever, if you take $1 from anybody that's not an individual, but it's a corporation or anything that's paid to, like you're sponsored, you should have to wear, like a NASCAR, who the hell you were sponsored by every day that you basically are in office if you were sponsored by a corporation.
We got to get Joe Biden a Sam Bankman-Fried shirt then. Big old afro on the front of his shirt because he's the second largest donor to Joe Biden, but they left that out of the 60 Minutes. That's crazy. 60 Minutes left out the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy who committed the craziest fraud since our buddy and Bernie Madoff, was the second largest donor to Joe Biden, and they didn't think that was interesting information to add into a documentary, which is crazy. You know what's interesting about these guys' pay, and what is the president's salary, like $400K a year?
400, yeah.
It's like, you think 400K is going to stop a guy from controlling corporations and stuff like that. So I think you're right when it comes to they should probably be paid more, but not be able to take money for speaking. And then of course, not getting donations from shady people and stuff like that. Cause it's just insane. Your net worth shouldn't be in the tens of millions of dollars when your salary is $70K a year. It's insane.
Janet Yellen, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this almost metaphorically because I don't know the exact words and I don't mean to defame anybody.
Mrs. Toadstool.
Janet Yellen, Mrs. Toadstool, there was 2 or 3 years back, had gotten I think it was during the pandemic timeframe. She got $7 million in speaking fees for Citigroup and other banks during that time period. And it was just showing up on a Zoom call because it was during the pandemic. So getting paid, basically bought and paid for by big banks, right? And then during that time frame, if you remember, that's when she was also being very vocally against crypto. I wonder why that would be.
What's the over and under that she was hammered during those Zoom calls?
Granny Yellen? No way.
No, that's true. She probably left that behind years ago.
She looks like so like unassuming. She's like, oh, grandma, amplified kind of deal, you know? Yeah.
Well, and I want to highlight kind of why Bitcoin and I feel like Ethereum have kind of lost that hot, heated kind of upward trajectory that we're feeling from all these ETFs. You know, trillions of dollars is waiting on the sidelines to get into Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs. We know that. The futures ETF launched very recently with lackluster results so far. But again, keep in mind, you're early. Only the absolute savages, the degens, are paying attention right now. And, you know, institutional investments are probably not ready to really kind of open the floodgates up to their futures ETF exposure, I wouldn't think at the time being. This is some stats from the disappointing launch day for futures-based ETH ETFs from Vettel Lunde. Let's see here. So overall, the shadow flows depict a hollow market and a deficient demand for ETH exposure. You may argue that futures-based ETFs are inferior to spot ETFs, to which I agree. This, however, does not change the fact that these past Bitcoin-related futures-based ETF launches completely and utterly dwarfed yesterday's ETF launch. First day trading volume is at $1.96 million in general. So a little bit, but really ain't shit compared to what they're
But you know what?
expecting.
Also, I was actually wondering about this. When we got the the first Bitcoin futures ETF, that also marked a regional top for Bitcoin, in which, you know, everybody thought it was going to be this big thing, and then Bitcoin, pulled back quite significantly immediately following that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Ethereum is a much smaller market cap, but we still have to think of it in context of how it does fit in with the digital ecosystem. But I wonder if, in some ways, this is also going to mark a little bit of a regional peak, because, you know, it's like they're trying to push something forward that has no real impact, because futures are kind of meant to somewhat, I hate to say it this way, but I've seen that futures within an asset, when they're launched, if there's no other spot ETP that goes along with it, it's a means of it's a means of like limiting or what's the word?
Arbitraging.
Well,
That's what I feel
arbitraging,
like.
but also suppressing price.
Yeah.
You know, because you're having bigger money come in, and they can take leverage positions on futures and basically help shape people's analysis of where big money thinks the market's going. So they're literally manufacturing data points so people see that, so they can help shape the direction of the market. So I wonder if something like that's going to happen with this Ethereum ETF.
Well, and what you're saying is true. We got to remind ourselves. I mean, I know a lot of questions and worry about ICP is out there. It started and absolutely got crushed by being shorted out of existence, essentially, on its launch for ICP. Just want to highlight this, bring this graph up, just relevant to the convo. Bringing smart contracts to Bitcoin. It's going for something feisty. It's got a good community, and it got leveraged, traded, and shorted out of existence very beginning of its kind of up and come. Lots of advertisements about it while this was going downwards. In general, no, I'm not sitting on a bag I bought up here and just hoping for some good stuff. I'm actually out of this. I got into it at $3 and out of it at $7. I'll refresh this so it doesn't. But I'm basically just scoping out ICP for a good time to get back in. I don't think this is going to recapture anywhere near what its actual overall all-time high was. It got up to like $400, $500 per coin.
Yeah, and it was wrapped in, embroiled in like a lot of the misinformation and mismanagement and sort of manipulation from FTX as well. So when you're looking at previous all-time highs, for instance, on like Algorand or Cardano, I look at that as a decent metric to where I think price can rebound to, and then have price discovery beyond that. But with something like ICP, you have to look at that, and you kind of have to think much lower than those all-time highs.
Yes.
Like there's going to be actual price discovery on a healthy basis.
Right. Don't just because it hit
that.
here once doesn't mean it has to hit there again. You know what I mean?
We saw that with Bitcoin Cash yesterday, because the year-to-date Bitcoin Cash, I think, is up like 100% or something like that. But it really peaked in 2017, and even in the last run, it didn't even get, it got like half of that. And what's interesting is that at the time when Bitcoin Cash was created, it's like a fork. Obviously, developers had differences, and then, some went over to Bitcoin Cash. And it was kind of like a hype thing back in 2017. And I'm in the same camp as you. Is just because something hit an all-time high before doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do that again. I just don't think that's the case for a lot of cryptos.
I do think, though, with Bitcoin Cash, as much as, I'm not a fan of it. I do think that going into the next bull cycle, when we have things like the institutional trading exchanges, like the new one, EDX, that has like Citadel and stuff involved.
Yeah.
And that was one of the assets that are involved with that. But then we also look at more broadly, like Hong Kong and China.
Like for scalability and
well,
stuff?
no. For when new adopters come in,
Yeah.
when retail comes in, as much as we all are aware this is different, there are going to be people that go, oh, I can't afford Bitcoin, but I can afford Bitcoin. Because people don't even realize when they're coming in. We forget what we didn't know back when we were like early in the space. And there's going to be, I think, I do think there's going to be an explosion in that sort of ignorant investing sort of frame that stimulates these things.
Because it was offered on Robinhood when I first discovered Bitcoin Cash, but then they made a fork because of scalability issues, speed, and stuff like that. But then we have things that make Bitcoin better, like I know Coinbase just integrating Lightning Network and stuff like that for large purchases of Bitcoin and stuff like that. So
I remember when I got into crypto, I was like looking at Bitcoin. It was at like $4,000 or $5,000, and I was like, Ethereum's $150.
Yeah,
this thing looks great, and it's right up there in the top. So yeah, I mean, and I remember that feeling like, and I remember I chose XRP. It was only 17 cents. My God, that's even cheaper than Ethereum.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But holding that for a long time is obviously. XRP holding for a long time in that same regard is not as helpful to me in my past as holding Ethereum from that time frame, as you can imagine. But I do keep in mind the SEC has been kind of beating them over the head in public town square, in the digital public square, for the potential of being arbitraged by law out of existence. On Bitcoin Cash, we did have a good note here from Sentiment. Despite markets cooling off for the second consecutive day, several altcoins are seeing rises in the amount of unique addresses interacting on the networks. Just keeping an eye out on Bitcoin Cash, SLP, Mask, and Lever, and CVC.
SLP is one of the cryptos for Axie Infinity. It's a gaming token. It's like the play to earn, the token you earn in that game.
Okay.
That game kind of fell out of popularity. Right now, Gala Games is probably the biggest gaming hub, I'd say, in crypto.
Do you feel like they're going to be okay through all these lawsuits?
Yeah, so what's interesting about Gala Games, and it's like each of their co-founders are suing each other for like being a scammer. So one of them has to be right. So that's not good.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, but what's crazy is that like I'm not a big gamer anymore, but I started playing a game called Spider Tanks, which is arguably their biggest game. It is so good. Like I can't put it down. It's so good. Like everything's
a smooth love potion. This is not it.
Yeah, that's for Axie Infinity. That's what you win. You earn from like winning a match. Axie Infinity is similar to like Pokemon, kind of turn-based. You hit each other and stuff like that. It kind of fell out of popularity. It was really big during the last bull run because countries like in the Philippines, it was big in the Philippines.
Yeah,
you make $30 a day in the Philippines.
They're making more than they could work at.
You're balling out of control. Yeah, but obviously it's down now. So
look at this graph. Smooth love potion. What the hell are we looking at here?
Yeah.
All right, so it's got, max supplies, no finite amount of supply, 41 billion for total supply. It's all out, it looks like, circulating. Yeah, look at it. One bad. Good thing out of this.
What's the total supply? I can't see it. It's under your photo. What's the total supply?
41 billion.
I was going to say, I'm guessing it's pretty high because we're hoping to even hit a cent.
Yeah. And, it does have this metric, which I like. DZ always points this out. But this is the first Bitcoin pump. And then the second one, it did achieve a new all-time high, but now it is absolutely down in the dumps, down 99% overall. So kind of interesting to see increased activity with wallets, unique addresses for that network. Maybe it's trying to come back. Super degenerate stuff, though. Highly risky. If I were to go after this, I'd probably be putting 0.5%, maybe a 1% amount of my overall portfolio into something like this, and that's pushing it because that thing's down by 99%.
You might answer Fading Trade Fi's question. He says, do the guys think that gaming gonna have a monster run again in crypto? So what's interesting about gaming, and I think NFTs are the bull case mostly for crypto gaming, because what we saw with like Call of Duty and a lot of like non-on-chain gaming is that you buy these in-game assets that literally go away once the game goes away, and that you can never use them again. So it's hundreds of millions of dollars spent on skins and characters and whatever that are gone. But if you get them in like a gaming studio, like say for example, I buy one item in a Gala Games gaming studio for one game, maybe it's used across all games. Well, if it's not popular in that game, at least I can still keep it because it's on the blockchain and it's an NFT form. So if the game goes under or becomes like a relic, well, at least you still have that piece of whatever the heck you spent money on that could be used as a collectible later or something like that, or maybe use it on another game and not just completely go down the drain and waste your money. So I think that's the bull case for blockchain gaming. But I don't know. It's still tough because the thing is, like, no one wants to get a MetaMask account and plug it into some sort of game. It's a pain in the ass to, try to, deal with crypto on gaming when just gaming's okay by itself. So.
And on all these smaller tokens or ones that have gone down 99%, and you're seeing, oh man, I have this opportunity to potentially make a lot of money. Or if you hear an influencer, whether you're watching YouTube or somebody told you about, name the token, shoe coin or whatever. And it's a super small cap coin. And you think, okay, I want to catch up with all these people that have been in the space for a while and they've made all this money. And you put in, 50, even 13%. If you put any significant portion of your portfolio into this super small coin and then it fails, it is nobody's fault but your own.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Absolutely.
know that. Like when I'm, because I hold a couple DGen coins. I don't talk about them because I've done that in the past, and people they'll go and put 90% of their portfolio in, and that asset won't perform well. They'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm wrecked because you're wrecked because you have a shitty strategy." You need to make sure that you have, when for all the DGen coins and plays that I make, I tend to have, collect all the allocation of my portfolio is probably less than 3 to 5%, and that's when I'm being very risk on. When I'm being risk off, it's usually around 1%. So just know that in your sort of allocation strategy.
And those, they can mean something. You feel like, I can understand the feeling like, oh, I'm only putting 1%. It's really not going to turn into anything, right? Last bull market, I chose Polygon because I liked the logo and literally nothing else. At a few cents.
They got good branding.
And I got out at $2.50 or $3, all because of a logo. It was less than 1%. It ended up turning into 5%. What you got?
Are you gonna buy Polygon for the next?
Oh God, Hanny, give me the hard question here. I don't feel like it's gonna ooh. You just did ooh. Okay. I'm gonna get a little bit of Polygon. Okay, but I'm more going to be heavy on Arbitrum, Optimism, Mina. Eric Carlson, what's up? What is going on here?
Eric, my guy.
Eric was on ATP.
Yep, and he has some cute doggies.
His cute doggies?
Cute doggies.
All right.
The
My dog's way cuter. My dog's way
Eric.
My dog has a thing in his paw that we've noticed. I think he's got bit by a bad spider or something like that. Oh no. He has one toe that's puffing up a little bit. So I'm gonna have to take care of the pup here. Take care of your dogs. Dogs are great. So yeah, he's kind of disappointed on the ETF futures. Now this is from British Hodl. He really is great for looking into kind of BlackRock and just aggregate bond stuff. He's talking about BlackRock's aggregate bond ETF has generated a return of negative 27% since 2021. Bitcoin is down 59% in the same period. While it's due for a bounce as it's only negative 5% away from its 2008 low, it makes investors question the volatility of a 40% bond market allocation versus 60% in equities as the Fed loses its up-only credibility, kind of that overall tightening and potential, hard-sided recession that Kelly was mentioning as a potential a little bit earlier in the show.
And this is important, everybody, because although those numbers seem like they're just throwing those out, this is called the 60-40 portfolio. And this is widely used across investing, both smart money and retail money. So when these sort of things get out of whack, it makes people kind of question about, what their investment thesis is going to be.
Absolutely. He talks about, what happens when the investors wonder if they can't rely on the stability of bonds anymore, right? When that curtain and that veneer of civility goes away, why not add more risk to the portfolio and allocate a percentage of that from bonds to holding Bitcoin, which seems highly reasonable. And obviously they might see bonds, cook back up to the north, but Baden TradFi.
Hey, funny story. When I was a kid, my dad was did some investment banking and stuff. And when they had at school one day, everybody was talking about what their parents did. And so, of course, that evening they had to call home to my mom and be like, "Is everything okay?"
Really?
Because I was young. I was like 5 or 6, and I told them that my dad sold bombs.
Oh God!
Because I didn't know it. I thought
FBI open up.
I didn't know what bonds were. I thought I was like, my dad is a bomb salesman.
Oh
So I was
my
like,
God.
is everything okay at the house?
put you up for
No. He sells bonds.
I have to be so careful about my boy. Like he will just like he's like taking care of the babies and rocking them to sleep. Being just a super sweet young man. And so he comes out of the kids' room and I'm like, dude, why are you being so nice right now? He's like, I want to get a gun when I'm old enough.
Got him.
And my wife's like, what? I'm like, you're
He's
doing
like,
all of this?
I'm kissing up to dad, so he'll buy me a gun.
Basically, he just wants to inherit the armory. My son saw me in Colorado. Basically, every day I worked 2 to 3 full-time jobs at a time, doing armed guard work for the Department of Energy. And my son saw me never sleeping, basically just cooking the candle at both ends after my company kicked me out that I helped build from the ground up because I wouldn't inject myself with an experimental therapy.
Oh, no way.
So my son saw me basically go through, the edges of schizophrenia for 2-3 years because I didn't get any sleep and I had to continually work to keep this gigantic house that I bought when I helped build that company. I made it happen because I'm strong and I wouldn't give up. I wasn't going to let my kids down. He saw me coming up out of that. Now he's got kind of an inclination. He's probably going to end up going to the military or being a cop. The rest of my family are cops, so he's probably going to end up that way. But it made my heart swell when he said it. But my wife got a little concerned. So, crypto has had a little influx of hacks and scams this year. Crypto suffered a 153% year-over-year increase in hacks and scams in quarter 3. Number of attack incidents increased, yada, yada. Crypto and Web3 projects suffered a 153 increase from incidents from July to September this year compared to the same period in 2022. Blockchain security platform Immunify reported this in Q3 22. There were a total of 30 attack incidents, but this year the number swelled to 76. Nearly $686 million was lost in the recent quarter. That's a pretty big chunk of change. It's nearly $1 billion.
Is this
scammed.
accounting for like specific hacks of like cross bridge kind of stuff, or is it also like issues where people like phishing scams and stuff like that?
Maybe for everything.
Yeah, I think this is everything, but the biggest one it's highlighting is the Mixon attack and then Lazarus Group. Lazarus Group, the group is all over it, and they've actually been a group that we've been watching for the potential of large-scale cyber attacks coming out of North Korea.
Wreaking havoc, man.
Good question here, and we should build some content on this because we see so many stuff like this. Candle Daddy said, how many hacks and scams banks do, whether or not they do them or it happens. It'd be interesting to look at the metrics in the U.S. alone of how much people are getting their accounts broken into or phished, or what that number is. I'm curious to see what that number is comparatively with crypto.
We should absolutely see that.
Well, we're seeing an influx into mostly too what we're seeing because Lazarus Group is wreaking havoc for sure. But like we're seeing a lot of these SIM card swap hacks that target large influencers. They take over their Twitter accounts. Like Vitalik the other day is like, hey, connect your wallet to this site for this free NFT airdrop. And people are like, okay. So like the moral of the story is like a lot of it's in your power. Just do not click on links. If it's too good to be true, it probably is.
And this goes right to the video that happened in the post Mr. Beast did about where there's a massive AI. There's going to be a lot more deep fake stuff.
Yes.
I'll tell you all right now. Yes, there's good stuff out there and there's people that are good and they're going to give stuff away, but don't trust something that is free. Like if it's a giveaway, I still see people click. I still see them every day. I go on YouTube at least 3 times a week, and I'll see the scam stuff with Elon's old talks, and then somebody else hacked it, and then they rebroadcast it and put up a QR code. They're doing send 1 Cardano, we'll send you 3 back. And like people, like it's like you said, Drew. It's up to your power. Yeah. Use your discernment. If it seems too good to be true, it is. Nobody's giving you free money.
What's even more
you're
heinous,
donating it.
What's even more heinous is that Discord, like official Discords and official Telegrams are getting hacked. Like the BAYC one had one like within the last year, and everyone was just clicking links and stuff. So it doesn't matter where it's coming from, even if it seems like an official source. Just take a couple of seconds and just think to yourself, it's probably if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Because if Vitalik can get hacked, I mean, I can imagine he's doing everything to protect all of his accounts because he's the ETH daddy. But and it could happen to anyone.
Assume it's a scam and then work upwards from there.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll keep your expectations low. You'll be much happier from the results, and you'll be much safer because you're not messing around with sketchy links. I did have that L meme coin was a sweet airdrop I caught out of the blue. That was pretty cool.
Are we watching the? Because we're getting close on time. Are we watching Jackie?
Yeah, it's 2:47. There's so much news. Let's try to just blast through as much as we can. So Coinbase is delisting a set of 80 trading pairs on October 16th. Probably just lesser used pairs, Sushi ETH, Sushi Euro, Sushi GBB, or whatever the hell, Zen BTC. So probably just lesser used. Not a big deal. Don't lose your hair about it. We got Fubar talking about how he loves crypto because we're looking to tokenize uranium. So that was an interesting concept. Kind of flowing into UBS, the large bank in Switzerland that was directed by the Swiss government to absorb Credit Suisse, one of the largest banks in the world, after it went insolvent at a steal of a deal. And now they're looking to launch tokenization trial on Ethereum. Interested to see if they use CCIP or what kind of subchains might get involved with this, because we know Ethereum's ecosystem is large because they need throughput increase. This highlighting the development movement. Yeah, we got Cardano is winning the current development, but guess what? Overall development sucks. This is active developers right now. So it doesn't even show the whole thing. But look, we're on a definite downturn. Obviously this is only calling from 2016. Okay, but in general, we're on a little bit of a downturn here as far as the developer activity. Just reifying the fact that we are early, and I'm happy you're here because I'm bullish on you being here while things are in the dumps, while the pain's in the air, because that's how you make the bucks. This is Van Eck. I showed this to DZ, showed it on the live stream, but these guys are savages. They have some Owen might be running the Twitter account. Look at this, Van Eck. Low volume, just like your JPEGs.
Ooh, shots fired.
Shots fired. Yeah. JP high vibrations all around. Just absolutely. And then crypto finally. I absolutely love.
I love crypto finally.
It's like he. It's hard to believe any. It's a she. It's hard to believe any girl
I don't know,
accounts.
Yeah.
But this account makes me laugh.
Say one thing. Crypto finally is so funny,
Yeah.
and she's cute. She's a cute little brunette. But I've tweeted before. I don't know which girls on crypto Twitter are real. We just tell them all they're beautiful. We just tell them all they're pretty. You don't know which ones are the bots, which ones are real, but just tell them they're pretty.
Those Taiwanese men like those compliments, so keep them coming.
I like the ones who DM me and ask me if I need help trading crypto.
Yeah. How are your trades going?
Sure, I got it with 3 followers.
Hey, how are your crypto trades, mate?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. This I'm going to do some more investigation into, but this is just something I assumed is true already before seeing this. So I want to show this because this is how I feel about, we talk about this is unhackable, this is unbreakable. No, it's not. The NSA and the CIA probably have direct keys right into the back of that. You can guarantee that and take that to the bank. We're going to find out soon when the Third World Championship kicks off. But this is from 6529, Punk 6529. For 50 years, all world governments bought their encryption machines from the leading encryption firm in Switzerland. Turns out the company was owned by the CIA, who was listening all along. No civilian has a chance against tier 1 intelligence agencies. Most nations don't. I would agree with that sentiment.
Oh yeah, dude. If they want to find you, anything,
they're gonna find you.
They're gonna do it.
They're gonna find you.
Some of these investigations on some of these crypto people that I think are so anonymous, they're not. They'll find you eventually.
Absolutely.
The dark web guy is. They'll even cheat to do it. They'll break laws to do it.
They will.
Yeah,
absolutely. This we're going to look more into. This is a potential exemption from taxation that banks received yesterday.
Uh-oh.
So I'm looking into this law. There is no news articles written about this. This is found from just nasty good old Ruth searching on the interwebs. Use Boolean searching if you want direct access to information, because this is still a free information flow if you know how to find it. We're going to be looking into this a little bit more to see if they actually are scamming us that hard, because I think everything is a scam, but God, this would be a big problem. Now this we're going to look at Radiant Capital. I'm going to leave this one for tomorrow. Radiant Capital, another good DeFi project we're going to dive into. And I'll leave all this for tomorrow. We have a great great segment here. We have a friend of the channel, Jackie, from the Degen Dungeon, sent us just an absolutely awesome clip of just her take, kind of a news update on everything super degenerate in the meme coin world. I know you're going to like this. You're in the meme coins.
I love meme coins.
Love meme coins. I know
meme
it.
coin
So,
guy.
Owen's getting that video ready. We're going to have to switch some sound off. You might hear me sounding like a demon for a moment, but that's the way it goes. So you ready, Owen? Let's send it.
Yet, but you have hopefully never bought it. What's up, Discover Crypto? I'm Jackie Dutton, the mother of Degens, first of her name, and ruler of Greenest Candles. Welcome to the Degen Dungeon, where we discuss the most degenerate projects you have hopefully never bought into, and all of their red flag warnings. For the record, just because there's a million red flags doesn't mean that there isn't a little money to be made. I'm just saying, you better only be here for a good time, not a long time. Let's get into it. First, step right up to the favorite project of every Targaryen family reunion. Come Inu. Don't worry. It gets worse from here. Come Inu launched in 2021 on ETH and has seen a resurgence in activity by their self-proclaimed community and the build-out of their platform, which is a decentralized competitor to OnlyFans. News was quietly promoted this week that a top streamer used the platform and made $1,600 in 1 hour. The only thing touted to guarantee more profits than this token is if Elon Musk himself comes Inu. Where's the Grimes child support token? A relatively inexpensive Degen play for the Come Inu token is available right now, as $100 gets you around 85,000 tokens, and with a fairly scarce supply of only 10 billion tokens total, the potential for a decent rise is there. But no idea if these metrics correlate to the content being just as affordable on this platform. But I am sure that this is one particular token Degens will be happy to do their own research on. I can't go to the website for the platform to show you any of these details without YouTube having monetization issues, so DYOR and NSFW. Don't pull your wand out just yet, but would you believe me if I told you that the most magical degenerate play is actually called Bitcoin on Ethereum? Seriously, the ticker is Bitcoin, the chain is Ethereum, and the token's name, with a mind-blowing $86 million market cap, is Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 Inu. By comparison, making a DeFi OnlyFans is a sound business model compared to this dumpster fire. It launched 4 months ago. Not sure if it will be the currency of Hogwarts or Sega Genesis, but it's up almost 13,000% from its all-time low. Its red flags include having a website clearly designed by a MySpace user and some bizarre nod to the Illuminati by being able to pick out the word Masonic in its name. Honestly, the website looks like a Manic episode happening in the mind of someone who snorted terrible HTML code laced with Sonic the Hedgehog comics. It looks like a lot of effort for a rug, but I'm sure it's possible. Proceed with caution. Next up, an identical copy and the rarest of birds, except this one is on XRP's chain. Harry Potter Obama Pac-Man 8 Inu. You know how Bitcoin maxis are baffled the rest of the world doesn't see the value in cryptocurrency? Here's a solid example why. Launched in mid-August, Harry Potter Obama Pac-Man 8 Inu has a market cap of almost $23 million and a 24-hour trading volume of almost 2 million. It's also ranked in the top 600 tokens on CoinGecko. Who exactly is the target market for this token? Muggle Democrats born in the early 1980s? And I'm not sure how it gained any following with Obama in the name, seeing as it's on QAnon's favorite chain of Ripple. But here we are. Not financial advice, but this is a bargain, considering it's down over 78% from its former all-time high, and we'll probably never see that again. It must be good, though, because the website's loading page tells us it is loading generational wealth, sir. Their website also possibly features some charity in which you can donate to this autistic child in need. Yes, I know that that's just Vitalik, but now I'm curious whose wallet address that is. None of this segment is financial advice, but here's some financial advice. No, not this one. No. Now for our segment on public health. A rise in crime, illegal immigration, and Soros-funded DAs have only led to an increasing epidemic of drugs. And the world of cryptocurrency is no exception. Drug tokens are infiltrating the blockchain faster than crack in Baltimore. Here are the most dangerous ones as of late that you should be checking the charts for. Cocaine Bull, ticker named Coke, promises a 2% sell tax on transactions, allowing people holding their bags of Coke to receive more through the Cokenomics. Sadly, the U.S. government might consider the token more illegal than actual cocaine depending on which agency you ask, and especially if your name starts with Hunter and ends with Biden. A token named Meth is earned through an NFT project called the Bulls and Apes. In disappointing news, the dev is not a high school chemistry teacher trying to pay his chemotherapy bills. Being informed of your full token purchase is half the battle, and you may choose to buy into tokens with drug names at your free will. But please keep in mind that just because a token doesn't associate with drugs like crack does not mean that it isn't being run by a crackhead. That's all for today's Degen Dungeon. For more sarcastic shitcoin commentary, you can follow me on X at @TheJackieDutton, and I will see you little Degens next time on the Discover Crypto channel. Back to you guys.
That's golden.
Gold.
So good.
Oh my God.
Double X.
That was so good.
That was.
Absolutely.
I'll say this. That was everybody.
Yeah, dude,
golf
she's
clap.
actually my hero. I'm not even. I'm
That was,
fanboying over here.
The the donations to the autistic child.
I know people that are directly like promoters for XRP. The Sonic 10, not the Sonic 10 one, the Pac-Man one.
Yeah.
Like they actually they're paid to promote it and do Twitter live spaces. And meme coins are crazy. They're powerful. They're so powerful. But like she said, they're here for a good time, not a long time. As long as you understand that it's just degenerate gambling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is Taco called out the first one, Harry Potter, Obama Sonic 10 ENU, the Bitcoin ticker, at like a $5 million market cap or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we showed it like a month later. He's like, yeah, it mooned. I'm the liquidity holder and I hold everything and everything's going
It went to
crazy.
about 120 million.
You're going to have to go through all of our videos though to find that segment of where Taco said that. That's the alpha there. Just an absolutely great show. This is a really great show. I liked having too much news. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That feels good to have too much. I know that the markets are trying to bore people out, but there's a lot going on under the scenes. You got to pay close attention. Make sure that you get alternate kind of sets of advice or information from different sources. Don't get stuck in an echo chamber because it takes a community and a whole ecosystem thought to make what we're doing happen. This is the financial revolution. This is the technological tea party. This is the blockchain boogaloo, baby. So it's going to be
Blockchain boogaloo. Everybody, hit that like button.
Blockchain boogaloo.
You guys, thanks for joining me. It's going to be sad not having you here anymore. Right?
Never coming back.
I'm sad.
Never coming back. I'm being held hostage.
You may see him on
Call the
Saturday
FBI.
on a special featured interview where he may or may not be wearing a shirt.
Oh,
There's going to be
okay.
a fish hook,
No, wait.
a hard-boiled
Let
egg,
me go my
and some
cut
butter
first.
involved.
I'm a little thick
So-
right now.
Oh, my God.
I'm a little thick right now. Let me go my cut first, and I'll be.
No,
shameless.
you're in Georgia. You're fine. You got to be thick out here to be a
Nope.
problem.
Nope.
I'm telling you, I went to Talladega. The average male was 6'6", 270.
Well,
This is the
that's
peach
fine.
state
This is the peach state. That's right.
required.
We love you guys.
Yes, Eric Carlson, Ralphie, Candle Daddy, Wilma
Bye-bye now.
Finger Dew,
Bye-bye
Sin
now.
Diesel, Ray, Julio, Rich, Small Face
Candle
No
Daddy.
Toe.
I love Candle Daddy.
Small
Candle
face,
Daddy.
no
I got
toe.
a question for you, Drew.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Will my finger do?
Blow your finger.
Will my finger do?
Will my finger
Will
do?
my finger do?
Oh, that's the name. Okay, I get it. I'm getting used to him.
What that finger do?
You guys are awesome. Make sure to go smash the like on your way out. Spread the knowledge to all the people that you know that aren't paying attention right now to help us all change our financial future. And until next time, we bid you adieu here on the Blockchain Basement.
Sergeant Doofy out.